Hey everybody, this is Caron. How are you guys doing today? Whoop, whoop. You guys, I am coming to you live. I don't normally come to you live on a Sunday, but I am coming to you live today on YouTube just to give a little presentation on this card that I wanted to make. So if you take a look, today's project is inspired by this card that I received from one of my customers and my friend, Mary Kennedy Smith, and we received it. I received it for a swap that we are part of. We are part of a group called Fabulous Fun Friday Stampers, you guys. And the Fabulous Fun Friday Stampers, every Friday or every month, we have a swap, whatever the theme happens to be. And it's featured this month is, I think this September's theme was fall or autumn or something like this. And this was the beautiful card that Mary gave me. I loved it so much. I told her that I'm like, I have to recreate this. And it's a simple gatefold card, but I just loved it. So I'm going to recreate this card for you, inspired by this card that I received from my friend and my customer, Mary Kennedy Smith. You guys, I am Caron Bailey. I am your independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And I'm here today to give you a quick card. And I'm going to be using mainly retired products, but I do have some of the new stuff that I'm going to use. If you want to shop with me this month, hostess code is 77JWUUSF. And just as a quick reminder, if you are shopping and you spend $150 or more, please don't use this hostess code. Contact me so that you can get the hostess credits and rewards that go along with making a $150 order or more. All right. So let's do. So when I get inspiration from a project sent from someone, what I tend to do is, let's zoom in just a little bit. What I tend to do is, I forgot my ruler, right? That way I can make sure that I have somewhat of the measurements correct. So when I got this card from Mary, I eyeballed it and I said, okay, this is half of a sheet of cardstock. And as a half of a sheet of cardstock, we should know that this is an 11-inch piece. So we know right off the bat that our card base is going to be 4 1/4 by 11. And half of the 11, we know that it'll be full. And we're going to show you where these need to be scored. Okay, the first score will be at 5 1/2, I believe. Let's just measure it. Yep, it'll be at 5 1/2 will be the first score line. Today, and just give me 24 hours to make sure that the blog is live when you go look at it. Okay, so here we have our pieces. Our card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and I am using Orchid Oasis. And I am using the Hydrangea DSP from last season, you guys. I loved it. I have so much of it that I decided I was going to use it. All right, so I'm going to bring out my scoreboard. Where did I put my scoreboard? It's not my Stampin' Up scoreboard, but because I am in limited space, I tend to bring out my, right? I tend to bring out the smaller products that can fit into my shooting space. All right, so here we go. We knew and we said that our first score, we're gonna have a score at 2 3/4. So that's 2.5 right here. So this is our 2 3/4 mark. And then we're gonna have a score line at 5.5. And guys, let me apologize right off the bat. My dogs, if they bark, that's what they do. I will either try to talk over them or let them do their thing and then move on from there. Okay, so now that we have that scored, we're also going to take the time and we're going to score our band as well while we're here. So this is going to be scored at, we had a 2 3/4 and 5.5 as well. I like deep score marks, you guys. Okay. Now, for the sake of we're going to put this base together and then set it aside for now. Okay, so card base is going to score. We're going to score on the 5.5 and then back on the 2 3/4. And there we have our basic gatefold. Okay. And again, I like to burnish because I like things to lay flat. And then if you look at the inspiration from Mary's card, Mary did embossing, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to achieve the effects that I'm looking for with designer series paper. Okay, so our piece of designer series paper, we know that this is 2 3/4 by 4. So our designer series paper needs to be 2.5. I'm sorry, 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. So we know that our designer series paper needs to be 2.5 by 4 by 4. And we're going to put that piece here and this piece here. So let's go ahead and do that. Make sure that we have them in the right configuration. See, that's how we cut it. Here we go. Put this down. Trying to make sure that you have a 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. I love liquid glue. Those of you that know my tail know that I can't do anything in a straight line. And so I love the flexibility or the additional flexibility I have with using liquid glue in order to line up my pieces properly. All right, so this piece is done. So when we open our card, that's what we'll have. And then I'm gonna also put the layer, and I'm gonna do, let's put this layer together. So I'm gonna mat with a piece that of Starry Sky that is 4 by 5 1/4. And another piece of the coordinating DSP. Let's see if do I want to use that side? What do you think? What do you think? Or let everything be like so. I think I'm going to leave it that way. Okay. So then this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So all I'm going to do is adhere this to the panel. like so. And I tend to use Barely Arts or Art Glitter Glue. I also use my green glue. The glue of choice is completely up to you. It's just my preference. So again, I'm just trying to make sure that I have parts and pieces kind of lined up, okay? So that's what this is, and this will go right here. But we're gonna need a piece of cardstock on the inside. That's where we're gonna stamp some of our images, and our sentiment's gonna go right here. So let's bring out a piece of basic white cardstock. And that piece, I always cut my panels to 4 by 5 1/4, and then you can always trim it down to whatever you need. So my main image on the panel is I'm going to stamp these bird, and this Free as a Bird is a retired set and one that I absolutely loved when it was current, and because I loved it, I'm gonna still use it. So here we go, and we're gonna use that bird. Let's get the bird out and let's get to stamping a little bit. Put our bird on a block. I did not bring out a big enough block, so hold on. Perfect. All righty. So here we have our bird on our block, and we're just gonna line him up. I think I just want it here. All right, just like that. So I'm gonna go in with Memento, because I'm gonna do some coloring with alcohol markers, I believe. So just gonna add the ink up my image with Memento. Oh wait, so let's make sure, right? In this instance, I'm gonna trim it, and I'm gonna trim it because where I'm stamping is gonna play a big part, right? So this needs to be 3 3/4 or 3 7/8, depending. Let's go with 3 3/4 by 5. And that's what we're gonna do. So now we know pretty much the boundaries of where we can stamp. So let's get some more ink on here because I delayed for a second. We're gonna stamp our bird image right about here, like so. Okay, so that's our bird. We know what we're gonna do with him. And the colors we're gonna try to stick with the in colors just because. And so I'm gonna use some Pale Papaya to color. I'm gonna use some, I think, Parakeet Party to color our birds. I want a little bit of a blue or some yellows. Let's go with some saffron, I believe. And then we'll see where we are from there. I want a little bit of blues. Let's pull some balmy blue. And those are the palettes I think that I'm going to work in for that, okay? All right, so let's get to coloring. Oh wait, let's also pull. We're going to use some Granny Apple Green. The Granny Apple Green is going to be our leaves. Normally I use the brush tip, but I'm going to use the bullet tip for coloring just because the space is limited. And I'm going to just color my leaves in the Granny Apple Green. And again, no rhyme, no reason. I'm just choosing colors that I like. You are more than welcome to choose what you like when you are creating. But today, that's what I'm going to be using. And there's not a lot of room for highlighting, but I always try to add a little bit of depth to my projects or to my coloring. And you do that just like so. I'm trying to follow the lines already created by the artist, the designer. And then I'm going to quickly go back over it all with the light to blend it out just a tad, like so. Just to put a little bit of depth into the colored piece. And that's it. We're done with our Granny Apple Green. So we're going to go ahead and put those away. I'm trying a new form of stamping, you guys, where I put things away as I use them. It's not normally something I do, but something I'm working on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and give a little birdie a balmy blue head, like so. And then one of them is, there are two of them, or one of them is going to be, this is the light, so saffron. Like so. Let that dry. And the other one is going to be pale papaya. I just wanted a little bit of difference between the birds. Pale papaya and so saffron, they're kind of close. Obviously, one's a little bit more yellow and one's a little bit more peachy or orangey or pinky. Here we're going to add a little bit of depth. Again, just following the marks made by the artist. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Then we're just going to go right back in with all of them with the light again to blend it out. Like so. And we're done with our balmy blue, at least for now. Then we're going to go back over with our So Saffron. this away. And then our pale papaya. Like so. We can put these guys away. Okay, now we get to work on the other two birds. You see what I missed here, you guys? I missed a leaf. I thought that was his wing, but that's a leaf. So I have to go back in with that. All right, so one of our birds is going to be light parakeet party. In the body. Again, these colors are by no rhyme or reason. It's just something I like. They might not be a green bird of this shade or this color, but I liked it, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's get this leaf done. Perfect. How do I want my other bird? Let's see. Can we give him a purple head? Let's give him a purple head. How's everybody doing on this awesome Sunday? I am getting ready to head out in a little bit to a facility called the Watermark. And I've gotten to the point where every so often I go into the facility and I teach. It's a senior living community. And I head on in there, and I started last month, and they were very receptive to my class, if you want to call it that. And they say, hey, we want you to come back. So I'm going back. I'm doing some teaching or some creating with some of the senior folks in our community. Okay, now we're going to go right back over the head. This is done. All right, so one of the other things that I want to do with this color is to go in with my color lifter, because I want the belly of all of them to be a little lighter. So I'm just going to go in with the color lifter about the belly area and remove some of the color. So that's just a little bit lighter. Okay. One last thing we do need to do, we do need to color the branch, and I'm going to use my cinnamon cider color for my branches. I think that was one of my favorite colors that I use for trees, branches, things of that nature. So I was really destroyed not destroyed, but distraught when it was retired. Okay. Now, because we want to stay with in colors, or at least I do, I'm going to go in and make our flower buds starry sky. I mean, sweet sorbet. And again, with these tiny areas, I'm probably not going to need to add depth to anything. It's just no room. Like so. And there we have our bird, our panel. Now, if you ask me, this is a little boring, right? It's not finished. Oh, we need to trim this guy down because we won't see our card base, okay, our panel. So let's just trim everything down by 1/4 inch. So this will be trimmed down to 4 3/4. And this is where this guy will go. So right off the bat, this is kind of what we're looking at so far. And you'll see that. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go in with a blending brush. And I'm going to reach for my Balmy Blue. Ink pad. And I'm going to blend to give my sky a little bit of color. Just so it's not as stark looking in the bare and the plain white cardstock. I'm just going to add a little bit of depth of color. And again, I'm just using Balmy Blue. So that the birds are kind of in the sky. You see them there in the sky, right? They got a sky background. Perfect. Now, let's put this away. This is going to be in here. And we're going to leave this little bit down here. That way, if you wanted to write another message, you could. So for now, we'll adhere the bird panel to the card panel, and we'll call that piece complete. So then adhesive here, like so. And we're going to make sure that this is lined up, like so. Well, here we go. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to work on our band. So we can see the band needs to go that way and that way. All right, because it's going to attach here, fold here, and be like that. I'm going to put this up a little bit more. That way, if you wanted to write a sentiment, it's not, you have to open the card in order for you to see it, right? All right, so this panel right here is 5 1/2. So we're going to need to trim this to 5 1/4. right? And then 2 3/3, 2 3/4, sorry, 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. Perfect. I'm gonna put this here. We are almost done assembling this card, you guys. This is gonna go here like so. Oops. Oh, I meant to trim it a little bit shorter than 2 3/3, 2 3/4. All right, that's okay. Because the space is 2 3/4, so this needed to be 2 1/2. It's all right. This is going to line up right there. So and then this, we're going to do the same thing. So our band is complete, right? Now we just need to adhere our band to our card. Right off the bat, we know, and we don't need a lot because we just need this right here and this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from liquid glue, and I'm going to use some score tape, right? A little scary, isn't it? I probably should stick with liquid glue. I am going to stick with liquid glue. I have a little bit more leeway when I'm playing with liquid glue, okay? Okay. And we know right off the bat that this has to be even with the outer edge. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure that that's even. Press that down. And we know that this side needs to be even. All right. I think I see a little excess hanging over there, just a tad. And so I know that I need some adhesive not to go past that point. Lay that down. Lay that down. Let it dry a little bit. And there we go. Almost done with recreating Mary's card, you guys. Now, can you do it with embossing paper, folders? Absolutely, because you saw Mary did it. I took the easy way out for today because I wanted the chance to use up some of the designer series paper, so that's what I did. I'm going to trim this off just a tad because it's a little bit too big or long, right? And so the last thing I have to do now is my sentiment. And so I'm going to go with your friendship means the world to me. And let me show you what I'm going to do. And this is something that I haven't tried it before, but I did it with, I'm gonna go with this one, right? I'm gonna use a piece, let me grab a piece of cardstock. And get that piece of cardstock. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line this up. The reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to do something that I thought about, and I hope it's going to work. So I'm going to go right back in with the blending brush. And I'm going to blend my punched piece like so. Let me put this out of the way here for just a little bit. And then, so I have a little bit of a background color, right? And you can add as much ink or as little ink as you'd like. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And I'm going to also, no, I was going to add a little bit of fresh freesia, but I think I'm going to leave it while I'm ahead. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm going to stamp the sentiment in VersaFine Clear because I'm going to heat emboss my sentiment. Right here. Anybody watching with me? Say hello, please say hello. Would love to have you say hello. I know this was totally impromptu. I hadn't planned it, so I didn't let anybody know that I was going live. But hey, it is what it is. And I'm just going to stamp my sentiment right in the center here. Like so. And then I'm going to go in with VersaFine, or sorry, some white embossing powder. I don't know how I thought about that. I had those, I had put some stuff out earlier today and I said, I wonder if that would work. So here we go. I'm trying to see if it works. I think it'll work. Perfect. I'm going to be a little loud with the embossing machine, the heat tool. Let it warm up. Might be a little too light, but it's okay, you guys. Even though it is, I can always redo it. But you get the concept and the idea of what I was going for. Then I'm going to take the punch. And punch it out. And we already know how to line it up because that's what we use. We use the frame. Do you think it's too light? Kind of like the white, but I don't know that the sentiment is popping out a little bit more than I need for it to do. So I'm going to redo it, and here's why. I'm going to do it in black. And I'm going to see which I like more, or which does more to enhance the card. Not that I necessarily like more, but which does more to enhance the card. Okay. And last, I'm going to go in. I can't decide if I want to do a black or a blue sentiment. I think I'm going to go with black. Hold on. Let me find my black first to find. Oh, I have a purple one. Oh, let's go with that. I don't know. We'll see. And then all I'm going to do is line this back up like so. And instead of using the white embossing powder, I'm going to go in with the clear. If you're just joining me, please say hello. I would love to speak with you. We're almost done creating our card. And this is, I triple embossed mostly my sentiments. I just love the way that it looks. There we go. Let's put this stuff out of the way. And then let's punch our sentiment out, and then we'll see which one works best. And again, all of that is going to be preference, what your preference is. Like so. And I think this one might work better. So we have this. I actually love this one too, but I think for the purpose of this card, this one works better. So there we go. We're going to put this right over here. Line this up. Put a pop of dimensionals in there. I'm going to cut this in half. Like so. And like so. I did that just because I wanted to have a little bit of flexibility in terms of how high or how low I can go with placement of the sentiment. Now, I was going to put it here, but you guys, everything seems to be happening on this side. So for balance, I'm going to put the sentiment on this side. Our sentiment is down. And our card is finished, except for some bling. Let's call out the bling patrol, you guys. Let's see. What are we going to use? Oh, look at these. We have some pastel pearls. And we're going to use the pastel pearls to add a little bling to our card. Nope, I don't want that one. With this one. And then we're going to use this lighter one to go right here. Right here. And there we have it, you guys. I recreated a card based on one that I received, again, from my client and my customer and my friend, Mary Kennedy Smith. So this is what Mary sent me. And this is the card that we just made today, inspired by Mary's card. So thank you all for joining me on the fly as I made this presentation and this card for you. Again, give me about 24 hours to get the blog up, and then I'll put the link to the blog, which will have the dimensions, the cutting dimensions and instructions on there for you. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the last of your weekend and have a safe work week.